Well, welcome to a special episode of The Platform. You're going to get to meet writer and director Alex Lykos, and you'll also meet Millie, who's going to star in this episode. You'll be hearing quite a bit from her. You can hop down, but it was great to have Alex on the show, and here he is. It's good to have you on the show, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
No, you're welcome.
And please excuse me again, as I do have a bit of a cough. So it's been a bit of a crazy one. I had a look at what you guys do. It's some great stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
When I get off with you, the first thing I'm going to do is watch the Craig Johnston story.
Oh, that's a ripper, man. That's a film waiting to happen, that one.
Yeah, it's a great story. I followed him growing up, so yeah. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, me too. So Chantel Barry's a friend of mine. I actually filmed with her in LA probably a decade ago. So I saw her post.
Really?
Yeah, I saw her post on your page, on her page, and I checked out the trailer. And congratulations on getting the film out there.
Thank you. It's been a bit of a hard process, long process, but we finally, it's hard. Independent cinema is very, very difficult right now, and people's viewing habits are changing, so it's not easy, especially at the low budget level. Back in the days of when films like Clerks, could hit a nerve and go crazy, I think those days are gone with low budget filmmaking. But anyway, I'm happy to discuss further.
Well, let's go into your story, man. How did you get into this? I know you had quite a bit of success with Alex and Eve, but even before that, how did you get started?
So basically, I used to play tennis. I wasn't very good, and I lived in America for about 9 years, and then came back here, kind of not knowing where I was going to go with my life. And I was just writing these little kind of captions of back in the day. We used to take photos, and go to Kmart and get them printed out. And I came home with about 400 photos, and just kind of killing some time. I was just writing little stories of each photo just for my own sake. I enjoyed that. It was quite therapeutic. And I enjoyed the process of writing. And then from there, I kind of wrote some short stories about my time in America. And I actually stumbled on a friend of mine who, growing up, we're like super glue together, and we hadn't seen each other for 9 years, and then all of a sudden we were kind of, talking and connecting and whatnot. Anyway, I went back after we caught up to some other friends and said, "You wouldn't believe who I caught up with." And they're like, "Who?" And I'm like, "So-and-so." And they're like, "Well, did he tell you what he does for a living?" I said, "Yeah, he runs this real successful pizza shop." I said, "Well, he's actually the biggest drug dealer in Sydney." And I was like, "Really?" And that was the genesis for my second story that I wrote,
Wow.
About the two best mates, one a professional sports person and one a professional drug dealer, and how that will work. How do you go about rebuilding a friendship or reconnecting with somebody when they do something perhaps that is not ethically right? So that was the genesis for my first story, which I wrote, and I got funding for it. Which is lovely, and it just kind of grew from there. I really enjoyed the process of writing and telling stories and whatnot, and then we created our own theatre company in 2006.
Yeah.
Because it was very hard to get a film up.
Did you get that film up about that story?
No, I didn't get it up.
That sounds like something I'd like to see.
Yeah, look, I think it's something that I'm revisiting now. So what happened was, when we created our theatre company, I adapted it for the stage. And we put it on for the stage, and it went really well. The audience really connected with it. But our second play was a play called Alex and Eve, which, again, I wrote that for the stage, knowing that it's just too hard to get films up. At least with the theatre company that we built, a little independent theatre company, we were able to stage it, the stories, to see if, I had anything to say and whether anything I said was interesting as an author. And it hit the community quite well, and it just grew. There was Alex and Eve, the wedding, Alex and Eve, the baby, then Alex and Eve, the complete story. And in 2009, we decided to make it a movie, and it was like a 4.5 year process before finally Alex and Eve, the movie, was shot in 2014 and released 2015.
You need to work on your love life, sir.
Why do I need a girlfriend?
You look empty.
Why should I get married when every married person I know is miserable?
You get married, you have kids, you're miserable, but at least you're married.
I may never get married.
Mohammed, your fiancé from Lebanon.
He's not my fiancé.
He's good Muslim Ummi from good Muslim family.
Yeah, just drop it. I'm not interested, just drop it.
Are you going to help me up?
Sorry.
I'm Eve.
Alex. My parents fine with my lack of religious convictions, as long as I marry a good Greek girl.
So this relationship is doomed then.
If you don't leave that, you lose your home, your family, everything.
You've been with non-Muslim.
You know shames his family.
We've been invited to Eve's parents' house.
Wait!
Dad, what are you doing?
A lot of drive-by shootings here. We got to be careful.
Mr. and Mrs. Karastopoulos, meet my parents.
كيفك?
You give fuck. You bloody Lebanese with your cronulla right.
You Greeks, you go on the pension from when you teenager.
I love him, Dad.
They marry their kind, we marry our kind.
With Tony Nikolakopoulos.
With Tony Nikolakopoulos. Do you know him?
we had him on season 1, man. He's awesome.
Yeah. He's great. Have you seen the movie by any chance?
No, I haven't seen it, but I love the trailer, so I'm actually going to watch it.
Yeah, it's not a bad film. It's look, it as I said, the stage show just went crazy, and it was just great to see it go from being on the stage, this little kind of play, and just evolved to something a lot bigger. And Tony playing the Greek dad had all the funny lines.
But you played the role, didn't you, of Alex on stage?
On stage, I played the role of Alex, but in the movie, I played the role of the older brother.
I see. Okay.
I didn't have the film acting experience to play the lead role. It was quite a decent sized budget film, and I didn't have the experience as an actor to go ahead and carry the movie.
Yeah. So therefore, how did this one come about, and how long did it take? Because you mentioned before that it's a hard process getting a film made independently. Yeah. I'd love to know the journey of it. Yeah. So basically, referencing Alex and Eve, it was a 5-year process, and it's literally, you go for coffees and meetings, and there's always there's all this kind of talk about what's going to happen, but nothing ever really happens. And I just felt, whilst the movie was good, it was a good experience, I just felt coming from the theatre whereby, I can write a play within 6 months, and then after I write the play, within 3 or 4 months, I can get it in front of an audience pretty quickly. So the turnaround time was quick. I felt Alex and Eve, I was very frustrated with how slow the process was, because obviously to raise that kind of money is quite tough. So I thought for my second film, the model would be bring down the budget, therefore you're not spending too much time and too much pleading raising the money, because, in all likelihood, it's hard for investors to kind of get their money back and some interest on a film. So reduce the size of the budget and tell a story that's a lot more contained. If the story is good, if the narrative is good, if it's engaging, it shouldn't matter that the budget's a bit smaller. So this is a story, it's literally about someone trying to fall asleep. And, we go inside his head and we reflect back and forward, as he kind of reflects on his life and overanalyzes his life. And it could be done for a low budget. So to raise the money for it, because it was such a low budget, was relatively quickly. So I began work on this when I decided to make it. And once I had finished the script, I began work on it probably around May of 2017. Wow. Okay.
And we shot October 2017, finished the film around October 2018, and obviously released it 16th of May. So I still feel that's a very long process.
Yeah.
So it's a very short process, but it still feels like a long, long process, because I've been kind of at the helm of it, from the very outset.
got a good cast and a good crew attached, and we're all ready to go. The big concern is the weather. We begin tomorrow. First day of shooting tomorrow. I am totally exhausted. I have no energy right now. As a director, I don't know what to expect tomorrow. It's my first time that I'm going to be on a set as a director. I've prepared for about 8 months on this, so I don't know what that preparation will mean. Yeah, but right now I am really exhausted. I didn't realise how difficult this would be. It is very difficult. And, you know, it's about trying to find that energy, and I hope I can find that energy for tomorrow.
I was watching the rushes today, and on one of the scenes, we've done, like, you're not missing me, are you? I'm not missing, and then he's just gone and kissed me. My head stayed here, my eyes.
Is this in the scene?
In the scene.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
And
It's better to get it in the scene, so other people can participate in the humour, you know.
You put a clip online on YouTube where you sort of talk about the behind-the-scenes process, and I liked watching that because you don't often see that it's like, it really is a challenge, isn't it, to get a film made?
It is. It's very, very. Excuse me. Especially on a low budget, it is really hard because here we are. 2 years later, almost 2 years later, I still haven't been paid for the work that I've done. But that's okay. It's a choice I made. I wanted to get the movie out. So if I then pay myself as well, I would need to raise more money, right? So, and that's okay because I love to do it anyway. But it's just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. It's a really hard process because you're calling on a lot of favors, so you're always begging, you're always pleading for favors, and a lot of it you're doing yourself. I had to do the location scouting myself, but it's something I enjoyed. And I enjoy the autonomy. With Alex and Eve, I lost a little bit of creative control, which was difficult for me because with the stage shows, I had the creative control. So I thought, well, if I can do this on a low budget, the outlay, I guess the risk isn't as significant. At least that way I can have some autonomy and create the type of story thematically, stylistically, visually, as well as get to play the lead role in the film. And, for example, I wanted, I'm a fan of Woody Allen's work, and I wanted a jazz score. And, jazz and comedy seem to work really well. There's a nice fusion between the two. And I wanted it. I didn't have to kind of go through 3 or 4 different gatekeepers in order to get the jazz score. I wanted it, so I sought a composer who had composed jazz before and got that composer, and I got my jazz score. So I enjoyed that, the autonomy that came with that. But it was you saw that video. It was really tough. What helped me was I was lucky enough to meet with Dr. George Miller, Mad Max fame.
Yep.
He said to me, "You're going to want to quit 10 times. So don't worry, you're going to want to quit 10 times." And I think I got to about 12. So, I did. You want to run away, but somehow you just get up in the morning. Well, I was sleeping 2 hours a day, so.
I'm actually happy being miserable.
Ah.
Yeah.
You have noise in your head.
Yeah, sometimes the left side of my brain has a tendency to overestimate its importance. Why do you get control of our central nervous system? You idiot! We've been stuck in this weird platonic phase for 6 months now. Are we friends or more than friends? What do I send in text?
Anything. Except I love you, you're my soulmate, I've never met anyone like you crap.
Do not think about Helen. Yeah, I just got this weird, annoying headache.
I have some Panadol.
I don't think Panadol will do it. You're going mad! I'm in the second act of my life, and I have nothing to show for it. I'm sick of putting life on hold for some big break that's never going to come.
No attractive woman with any dignity would choose to spend the rest of her life with an unemployed actor.
But I am employed. The cafe.
Well, she's not going to have a phone with her in the toilet.
Why not? I do. It's an ideal time to catch up with friends. The other day I caught up with 4 friends. I'm so confused.
Her views on relationships are archaic.
I don't subscribe to the modern-day transient attitude towards relationships.
You are being delusional. Why are you being so hostile? Oh, you think this is being hostile?
You worry about things?
Me? I'm not happy unless I'm worrying about something. What are you saying? I'm old? Well, that's exactly what she's saying. Here's your chance. Well, go on. Listen to me. I'd like to take our relationship to the next level and see where it goes. I mean, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble, I don't watch porn. I do, but it's only occasionally. Where was I? Wallowing in self-pity.
So what did it feel like for you when you see the finished version and you've been through all that and done so much heavy lifting by yourself? It must be a pretty amazing feeling to just enjoy the story.
Look, the premiere night was amazing, but you always, in the back of your head, you're always thinking, is the audience going to enjoy this? Is the audience going to enjoy the work? I mean, is all the work we're doing in vain? Is it good? You think it's good, you think it works, but I mean, of course I do. It's my work, right? So you always kind of got this, anxiety. Are people going to enjoy the work? Because ultimately, if they don't enjoy the work, well, what's the point really? So all the whilst you're kind of proud of what you've achieved and getting the film made, you're also wondering. I mean, I had two goals. The goal number one was, don't make an amateurish looking movie, and goal number two was to, don't embarrass yourself as an actor. And I was fairly confident I'd achieved those two goals. I felt like we had a good movie. I felt like I did quite well as an actor. But ultimately, it wasn't until the premiere night when we got a really good response, then I could kind of kick back and say, right, enjoy the work, enjoy this night, Yeah. But then you stress on Friday. You're stressing people want to go on Friday, people want to go on Saturday, people want to go on Sunday. You got we released in the federal election,
Right.
John Wick, so it's never ending stress, anxiety, because it falls on you,
Yeah.
So it's just never ending, like we planned so hard, 2 years of working on it. 4 months out, we start booking the cinemas, and the federal election is called.
Oh my God.
When we release,
Yeah.
what do you do with that? It's very frustrating and breaks your heart, but
You got to give it a crack.
you got to give it a crack. Yeah. So,
Well, you mentioned before Woody Allen. Who else inspires you, like in your journey in wanting to make films? Like, who else do you look up to?
yeah, look, I'm a little bit of a how should I put it? A fuddy-duddy, old fuddy-duddy, because I like the Billy Wilders of the world, who did Some Like It Hot, The Apartment, 7 Year Itch. Who else do I like? Obviously Woody Allen. I like Alexander Payne. Alexander Payne did a film called Sideways, as well as About Schmidt, as well as Nebraska.
Right.
I like his work. I like Nora Ephron's work. Nora Ephron, I love her work. So I'm not as attuned to the current modern day filmmakers as I am with the, I guess, filmmakers from a different era.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with your writing, and you wrote the script for Alex and Eve, and also for this one, the new one. How long does it take you to write a screenplay?
It depends. Do you need to...
Mate, Millie. Sorry, mate. I've got the cutest dog in the world, but she's just... There she is. That's the culprit.
Hello, Millie.
Hello, Millie. Shush. Sorry about that.
Whereabouts do you live?
I'm on the Gold Coast.
Oh, you're on the Gold Coast?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool. Generally it depends, because you're working on the one script exclusively. You've got about 5 or 6 you're working on.
Right.
So keeping that in mind, you don't work. Sometimes you'll get on a bit of a roll with what particular story, and you kind of just want to vomit it out.
Right.
And I like to, in the morning I might work on this script, and in the afternoon this one, to keep things fresh. So generally between 6 to 8 months it would take to finish a script. I mean, not final draft. I mean, I don't think you ever finish a script and it's a final draft. I don't think that exists, because you're forever rewriting, up until shooting day. During production you'll be rewriting.
Yeah.
I know for the film we just did, I rewrote some scenes, and we had a couple of days, well, one day of extra day shooting, pickup days.
Wow.
So you're always rewriting,
Yeah.
but the bulk of it, you generally 6 to 8 months.
I thought you were documenting a Muslim matter! Well, where is far more important, Dad? When I have kids, I could have Muslim Eve makes 130,000! What? Eve makes 130,000 every year.
I love asking people about chasing dreams and living ultimate dreams, and I can tell that it's a hard industry and it's not easy when you're making independent films, but like if you could live the ultimate dream for you, what is it?
Well, that's a really good question, because for me, my nirvana, if you will, is to be able to make films and be in a position financially where I don't have the anxiety about paying bills.
Yeah.
So being wealthy and having Rolls Royces is not something I'm interested in. It's just if I can find a way to make an income, that allows me to pay the eat comfortably, pay the bills comfortably. That's my nirvana. Where I don't need any other extraneous work to supplement the independent filmmaking.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, certainly. And so what sort of stuff you got coming up?
I've got 2 other films. Speaking of the one I made reference to earlier, I'm now keen, now that I've got an understanding of filmmaking, and it is a drama, so drama requires a little bit more experience as a filmmaker to pull it off. So I'm definitely looking at that one story, the Better Man story, about the reunion of 2 best mates, the professional tennis player and professional drug dealer. That's one I'm going to give some attention. But there's also a TV series that I'd like to work on. Well, I'm developing it now, but try to meet up with networks and pitch to them, and hopefully see if we can get some kind of development deal if we can. Awesome. And hopefully I've got 2 films under the belt, so hopefully they take me a little more serious.
Yeah, it's unreal, man. It's inspiring because it takes a lot of hard work and you're doing a lot of the heavy lifting by yourself and you're writing and creating. So I think it's unreal, and thank you for being on the show. Wish you all the best with it.
No, thank you very much. I really appreciate you reaching out, and I really appreciate the time you take to listen to hear my story. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Sorry about the dog.
No, all good.
Millie getting the last word. Can't believe it. Make sure you check out the film, Me and My Left Brain. It was great to have him on the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the platform.